Hello, I'm Rory O'Connor, and you're here with Smooth Radio. Joining us today in the studio is the incredible Charlie Puth. How are you, Charlie?
That's nice of you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you finding London?
I love London. I love coming here because it's like permanent Christmas time. It's nice.
Right outside in Leicester Square, we're building all the markets at the moment.
Really? Yeah, it looks like it's pretty busy out there.
Now, I wanted to say, I think your new songs are absolutely amazing. Thank you for bringing these new songs to us.
Of course, it's nothing. Thank you, I appreciate it.
What's the response been like for you so far?
It's been really nice. We've never put out this much music all at once before, and it's really, they're all like really different songs. They're all very distinct songs, and I honestly didn't know which one would be received the best, so I just kind of left it up to my fans to decide.
Well, I love Mother. I think it's so catchy.
Thank you.
I Warm Myself is such a new tune as well.
Thank you. That's like Backstreet Boys plus Billie Eilish.
Well, what I thought was most interesting about it was some of your sounds were actually like a basketball bouncing on concrete, and you had the bees sped up.
Yeah. I'm just a weirdo. I'm a
Not at all. I think it's a really cool production process.
Thank you. Yeah, I never want people to be able to identify any sound that I use in a production. I want it to be like completely molded just to me, and very distinctly me. Because if I use like any other sound that everybody else can use, that's what it is.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know it was a basketball if I hadn't researched and looked at all your videos.
Right. Well, I mean, I definitely let people know. I just Googled Michael Jordan, and I heard a basketball drop, and then I just sped it up, and it became, and then put a little reverb. Yeah.
And listening back to all your old songs and all your new songs, I think there's definitely an evolution. Would you say that?
I definitely think there is. I mean, the old songs I love the old songs. It's just there's a bit of consistency missing from the old songs because I was literally trying to figure out who I was as an artist in front of millions of people, which is not usually how that's done. So it was a little nerve-wracking.
So the big question is, do you have an album title yet?
I don't have an album title. Well, I mean, I don't. But I know that the album's going to come out maybe like next year.
I think we should call it Smooth Charlie.
Or just Smooth.
Or just Smooth.
Just rip off Santana.
And with new music
comes... Or you guys. Smooth.
And with new music, obviously, comes a new tour. Have you got anything in the pipeline at the moment?
I think so. I don't want to say something and then be like, no, you shouldn't have said that. But I would think that that's pretty much the natural progression of things.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Now, your loyal fans will already know this, but if you Google Charlie Puth, there's always articles like 10 songs you didn't know Charlie Puth wrote, or 7 songs Charlie did this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've written for so many people and you produced so many songs.
I'm very fortunate.
Who's been your favourite so far?
Ooh, wow, that's hard. It's like picking your children. I wrote a song called Slow Motion for Trey Songz back in the day, like 2015, which I like very much. And I also love this Michael Bublé song.
I was just about to say that. Michael Bublé is one of my favourite artists. How did that come about?
I wrote that song for my friend, actually in front of my friend while he was going through some heartache. And I wrote it in like January of 2017, and I played it for David Foster, and he put his touch on it, and then it got to Michael, and he put his touch on it. So it was kind of like a remote cross-collaboration situation.
He's actually spoken about that and said he's a little bit jealous that he didn't write that song.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, he's singing it, though. He did such a good job.
I think he loves it so much that he wishes it was his, that he'd come up with the idea for it.
Well, I mean, it's all for the love of collaboration. He's wonderful.
Well, he's giving you the genius credit there. So, Who would you say has influenced you the most over the years?
Definitely my parents. I think I started this whole wanting to make music thing just to impress them, and then that turned into wanting to impress other people and like make people feel something. Like I don't make these songs for myself per se. I make them for people's reactions, and I love people's reactions, and I've learned to love playing live. I didn't used to love playing live, but it's kind of like having a recording studio in front of thousands of people. So I'll sometimes even like write a song on stage.
And what about other artists that have influenced you?
I mean, that's why I write with so many artists, because I feel like I learn from them, even if it's whoever. It's like the Backstreet Boys, if it's Liam Payne, if it's Celine Dion. or Katy Perry, I'll always like I'll be able to take like little bits and pieces from them and like improve myself as an artist.
And is it true that George Michael and Wham were huge influences for you?
Definitely, and definitely on this last album on Voice Notes, like records like Done For Me, and like countless others. I always thought George was just such a genius. How he was able to just seamlessly layer like maybe like 5 instruments at most and just make the production just sound so big. What's that? Everything she wants is everything she needs. That song is like 5 sounds at most and sounds like this huge production. It's just like a Juno, a Lynn drum machine, his vocals with a ton of delay because it was the 80s. And it's, the king of simplifying and making it big was George Michael.
Well, Andrew Ridgeley of Wham was actually in your seat just 2 weeks ago.
Was he really?
He was indeed.
Well, I don't deserve to sit in this seat. I'm going to stand for the remainder of this.
And is it true that there were also influences for you because of the way that George Michael left Wham and had to prove that he could do his own songs, produce them and write them, and you kind of felt the same?
Absolutely. And I've never been in a band before, but there have been multiple instances of artists doing that. Of them wanting to prove themselves as a solo act and as a triple threat, like a producer, songwriter, and performer. Like that even happened with Justin Timberlake in NSYNC when he wrote Gone, and it was all of his vocals on an NSYNC album. He was trying to make a point. Whether it was like a mean point or not, or I don't know, but it was. I really admire people who kind of broke away from things that they weren't super happy with.
And obviously there's so many artists that you've written and produced for, from the likes of Michael Bublé to Little Mix to Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you would really like to work with now?
I would love to work with Sir Elton John. I think
fantastic.
I've spoken to him a couple of times and I just think he's awesome. I think we'd make something really cool.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. You spoke to Sir Elton, that it went out on a public broadcast. What was that like? It
was wild because of how casual and cavalier he was. I was just on my phone and I saw an Atlanta number pop up and I'm like, who do I know in Atlanta? I picked it up and he said, darling, it's Elton. I'm like, Elton John? He's like, you bet. Are you ready to do this interview? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an interview with Elton John right now. Yes, I'm totally ready to do this interview. And I just spoke to him about our mutual love of music and his process of songwriting, and it was cut down a little bit in that interview, but I mean, he's prolific. He's unbelievable.
Have you ever discussed working with Elton, with him?
I didn't really have time to, but if he's listening now, that'd be super dope.
I think you should phone that Atlanta number back.
Yeah, I think that's one of his many phones in many houses. So. And
how do you get the singers in the room to work with you? I mean, I'm asking for a friend here, Charlie.
Oh, okay. I think, it's not even like it's not even about like how big the singer is per se. It's really just about like.
Or is it the other way around? Are they going, Charlie, we need you?
Whatever the case, I'm only here for my love of music and making people want to feel something. So if that's like with a brand new singer that doesn't have a following, or it's with a huge singer, it's just about like making a great song at the end of the day.
Now there were rumors that you were teaming up with Adele. You bumped into her in a gym. You won an online competition singing one of her songs. Are the rumors true?
Are the rumors true? Doesn't she have a song called Rumor? Rumor has it.
That was about you, Charlie.
That was off key. No, nothing's happening right now. But I love Adele, and I think she's wonderful, and I'd love to work with her in the future.
And speaking of Adele, who famously sang the James Bond theme tune Skyfall, have you ever been approached to write a Bond theme?
No, I haven't, but I'd be down to do that too. I haven't. We need to get on that.
Well, Ed Sheeran, it might be a bit of competition for you because he said he's already penned one. He's got it in the drawer, waiting for them to call.
I think that they'll probably go with this.
They normally don't go for people that have said they are interested. It's like the Bonds. Any actor that says they're interested in being Bond, they never become Bond.
I'm totally down for it.
No, you got to say you're not down for it.
Oh, no. I don't like Jaguars.
Smooth spoke to Irish boy band Westlife, and they said it was Ed Sheeran that got them out of bed and made them reform as a band. He just penned 6 songs for them. They've never met. Penned 6 songs for them, sent them over.
Really?
And they were like, well, let's get back together and
I didn't know that. That's
and perform
cool.
these. Have you ever done something like that? Just penned a song and be like, I think this would really suit your voice.
No, but that actually happened. That's really inspiring. No, I've never done that before, but that'd be super cool.
They're very good songs. You should have a listen.
Yeah. Oh,
And
they're out already?
it's coming out in November.
Really?
Spectrum.
Look at you. You're ahead of the curve. I want to listen to their old stuff now.
Charlie, I was looking at some of your stats. Attention currently has 1 billion views. We Don't Talk Anymore, 2.3 billion views. And See You Again has 4.2 billion video views. And now, as someone who started out on YouTube, those figures must sound crazy, especially for a song that was just recorded as a demo track almost.
Yeah. It is wild to always see the number of people that have watched your video, especially because 6 years ago I would get excited about 100,000 people watching my video in a month, and now I get that in like a couple of minutes. It's pretty wild how things can progress. It's just inspiring for me to create more.
It must take you back from when you were standing outside the record studios for 6 hours, not even getting a response, and being like, well, look what's happened.
You never hold a grudge. You just know where you came from, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you so much for joining us at Smooth Radio.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
Thanks, brother.